What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Inside Military Esports presented by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Today we're at the Left Click Lounge on the University of Minnesota campus.
Now, IME is the show that features military members and veterans who have a connection to the gaming community. I'm Jami Kinton.
And I'm Jeremy Smith.
Join us as we go inside military esports.
On this episode, Jami speaks with the executive officer from an online community for veteran gamers. The Navy Federal Credit Union spotlight shines on an esports broadcaster. Jami meets up with streamer McCoffee at DreamHack Montreal. And I'll talk to Davis about creating artwork and how he supports his fellow veterans.
Hey everybody, today I'm here with Brandon Sivret, who is a 13-year veteran and the executive officer with MilitaryGamers.com. Brandon, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So Brandon, tell me a little bit about what Military Gamers is. How did it start?
Yeah, so MilitaryGamers.com started as kind of a casual, online gaming community. The founder, Lucas Wilson, and then Matthew Sinkiewicz, they both got together and were just playing, Total War, BSing about military service. And then they decided, hey, let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's kind of grow the community and see what we can do with it. We have some industry partners out there. In fact, one of our new partners, VelociLinks, just launched brand new peripherals, mice, keyboard, headset, that sort of thing. And they're working with us to get an esports team going. So we're pretty excited about that partnership. But we've also done like SOE Live. We've gone to some of Games Workshops, cons and stuff like that. So we really expanded what we're into. We kind of see ourselves as an online VFW or American Legion post. Some of the younger generation, some of the guys they don't feel like they really belong in some of those places. So we've kind of created our version of that for them.
And what is it about gaming that you think brings these soldiers together?
I think a large part of it is, one is the community, the sense of community. The other thing is the team environment. One of the things for me personally, having deployed, the times that I have, it almost becomes addicting because, especially if you have a really good team. And I think gaming kind of brings that out of some of the people that we have in the community. Some people are looking for, an escape. They just don't want to, maybe think about all the stuff that they're dealing with directly, day to day. So it's kind of an escape to them. Some people are looking for that sense of achievement. Some people are, looking just for community, something social to do. And gaming really touches all those different aspects.
Now, tell me, how does it work? When a soldier comes to you and says they want to get involved, how does it work? How do you connect them with other gamers?
Sure. So they just go to MilitaryGamers.com. Some of us are just simple-minded, so we put the name in the URL, in together to make it easy to remember. So just go to MilitaryGamers.com, sign up, and then join our Discord from there. We have a link to the Discord from the forums, and we do an honor-based system. So some communities try to vet people using, the different resources that are out there. We're more honor-based. We catch people who are trying to fake it pretty easily.
It's just, once you're in, it's just kind of like, here's a network of people that you can game with.
Well, there's a little more structure to it than that. We actually have game branches, and we're setting up an esports team, like I mentioned before. So there is a little bit more of a structure to it. It's more than just, a community, a gaming community for everybody. It actually has its own branches, chapters. We do lots of things, like we go to events. We have like our EVE Online branch is huge. We're playing Naval Action. Any of the other, titles that come up, our League of Legends, team is growing. So we cover a lot of different titles. It is like a typical gaming guild that you might think of. But we do try to open it up more of a community feel and cover multiple games at a time.
And tell me, what is your background? How long were you serving for? What branch were you in? And why was gaming a part of your life during that time? What did you see as a benefit for yourself?
So I'm actually currently separating right now. I'm going through that process. So 13 years in the Air Force as an officer. I've had a pretty unique career. I've gone from security forces to space operations. I was an ICBM, missile crew commander, and now most recently intel officer with a TAC-P squadron. So I've had quite a varied background. Really what intrigues me about gaming and what I enjoy most about gaming are just the challenges. It's given me another avenue for my leadership skills to kind of grow and develop in different ways. Going from the military where, you're kind of given a command and you're given leadership roles. In gaming, you kind of have to convince people to follow you. And it's voluntary, so you can't give orders to people. So it kind of gives rise to a different style of leadership that has actually really benefited me in my military career. It's taught me how to network, how to build relationships with people, especially being geographically separated. It's also a good way to connect with people. When some of my senior leadership is kind of like, what's this World of Warcraft thing? I was able to say, well, sir, it's this game that a lot of guys are playing. And I can just connect with some of the junior enlisted and some of the junior members saying, hey, what do you think about the new expansion, stuff like that? It's another topic to connect with. And in my career, I've seen it go from you didn't really talk about gaming to now everybody's a gamer.
Brandon with militarygamers.com. Brandon, thank you so much for your service and thank you for taking a minute with us today.
Thank you very much.
Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces, veterans, and their families for over 85 years. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Check out this week's Navy Federal Credit Union Spotlight.
Our next guest on the show today is an esports broadcaster. Zach, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So how does one get into broadcasting for esports?
A lot of it just comes down to finding something that you're actually passionate about and that you have a connection with, things like that, and then just start making content and just immersing yourself amongst the people in the scene. And if you're good, you get noticed.
So for you specifically, how did you go from someone who plays video games to someone who broadcasts video games?
I was never a big esports person really growing up. And my college happened to be like one of the biggest game design colleges. So I was thinking about transitioning into like a media journalism kind of thing and using them to kind of springboard off, like, do media coverage of them to kind of learn the ropes. And then I got paired up with an alum from my college who was trying to start the NCAA of esports. And that's really how I got my start in esports, was just doing streaming content that had nothing to do with esports for this esports brand. I'll never forget the first time I watched like an esports broadcast really was Smite, because I was trying to get free stuff. And they were going to give away like some skins and things like that. And I was like, okay, I'll turn to that. And then from that day forward, like I've been in love with esports, like what it could be, the competition side of things, seeing how different professional level versus like just playing really bad casual level. And then from there, it was just, I want to talk about this. I want to explore this. And I come from a much more traditional sports side of things. And I really think if you have a traditional sports background, getting into esports is really easy. It allowed me to pick up on things pretty quick, kind of notice trends and things like that. And, it enabled me to be a better analyst for Smite than somebody just starting out would.
What skills did you pick up while you were in the Navy that applied to being a broadcaster?
A lot of patience. I think that is something that the military, if you do not walk away with the military with an understanding of patience, you did it wrong, or I don't know, hurry up and wait, that mentality. And I think, honestly, I think a bit of it too is esports traditionally in a lot of cases is like a young man's game. And then having gone through the military, in the Navy specifically, because the Navy, it touches so many different cultures and everything, it just matures you in a way that's kind of different and brings you a different perspective when you come into the esports landscape. And I think that is one of the things largely still missing in a lot of areas, especially Smite, because it is a younger, smaller scene, is it does lack some of that maturity. And so coming in with that definitely helps and hinders a little bit in certain ways. But, more times than not, having that age and everything kind of helps you out with everything.
So when you're active duty in the military, you've kind of got a built-in community, the people that you live with, the people that you work with. And when you leave the military, that community is not always there. But we're seeing now more and more there's a lot of veterans in the gaming community.
All of the things you learn from the military, the guys who rise to the top, you've got built-in, leadership mechanics. I mean, you look at the Air Force, right? And their advancement exams is literally like human resources management exams. Other branches like the Navy, God love the Navy. We don't get taught management skills. You learn management skills. Like, that's the thing. Being able to man management and take care of different personalities. I think that is something that really gets embedded in you from a military perspective. And I don't think there's really anything else out there that kind of prepares you in the same way that the military does.
Well, thanks for your time today, Zach, talking a little bit about your time in the Navy and how it affected your career as a broadcaster.
All right. Thank you.
We'll be back with more Inside Military Esports presented by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
I'm here today with Martin Couture, who is better known as McCoffee online, and he is a 12-year veteran, a full-time streamer, a firefighter, and an influencer. Martin, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Jami. So I spent 12 years in the Army. I did 3 tours, 3 deployments in Afghanistan. And I retired in 2015.
Wow. How long have you been gaming, and what kind of got you started when you began?
I think like most kids, I started playing Nintendo back then. I think it was like in 91, 92.
Yeah.
So I grew up gaming, being a gamer all my life. So I don't know, it just transitioned all the way to becoming a streamer.
What was your experience like when you were in the military as a gamer?
Well, on every single tour, we always had some computers or some PlayStations, Xbox to let go to Steam.
Yeah.
So we did play a lot of video games on tour when we had the chance, because we're not at the camp a whole lot. I think most of today's young adults, 20s, 30s, I think probably 75% of them are actually gamers. I'm new to streaming actually. I started in October last year, in 2018, and it was one of my friends. I want to give him a big shout out. So Pickles from Texas, and he decided to become a streamer, and then he's like, dude, you have an awesome personality. Why don't you become a streamer? I was like, So I talked to my wife, and she's like, you know what? I think he's right. So I became a streamer in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
What games are you playing today?
So my main game is PUBG Mobile. That's my main focus. There's a big player base. I played a bit of a Cyber Hunter, but now I decided to really focus on PUBG Mobile.
And what do you think it was about you that started to help you gain such a following right now? And you just surpassed the 100,000.
I did, which is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think my time in the military actually built my character. My personality that was built through the military is what brings me closer to people.
So you've built your following now. You're streaming daily. What do you love about what you're doing right now?
I don't know. It's weird because you're at home in front of a camera, but the community that you build, I feel like I'm responsible of every single one of them. And I don't know, the fact that when I go live, some people are lonely. They're at home. They don't have a lot of friends. And when I go live, it's more than just me. It's the community that comes all together. So it's like ICQ back then and stuff like that. So people are on the chat. Some people don't even look at me playing the game. Oh, they don't even care about my gameplay. They're only there to meet up with other people and chat. And for me, honestly, I feel like this is amazing. Like I'm bringing a lot more than just showing out like how good or how not good I am at the game.
Yeah.
When I came back from my last tour in Afghanistan, over there I was a bodyguard for the Canadian ambassador. So when I came back, I had a hard time to readjust to civilian life. So I myself went to see, I had some psychological help, try to readjust myself to civilian life. And once I got myself a little bit better, I realized like, hey, you know what, there's a lot of people out there in the military, in my battalion, and outside, like in the military, that are having the same issues. They would say like, hey, so what's the process? How do you get help? And I would actually go to the hospital with them and bring them on the psych floor that everybody are afraid of. Wow. And make them, like, to help them in their first step. And yeah, a lot of them are doing better today. That I'm still in touch with them, and a lot of them are actually doing a lot better today. I think that the fact that I'm a streamer and I expose myself out there, a lot of them actually writes to me, and then they open up to me, and they're like, so I'm going through a rough time, this and that, and actually there's at least 4 people that actually saved their life because they were talking about suicide. And I was like, you know what, before you do anything, I want you to give me a call. So I spent a whole night talking on the phone. Vanessa would go like, you didn't sleep? I'm like, no, I didn't sleep. But saving a life like that, for me, it's priceless.
That's amazing.
If anybody sends me a message, if they're looking for help, I'm willing to spend some nights up to help others. I'm really close to my community, and anyone who wants to contact me for help, and anything, they can do it.
Well, Martin, we're really excited to watch you stream live here today at DreamHack, and best of luck to you.
Thank you, Jami.
We will be right back here on Inside Military Esports.
Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces, veterans, and their families for over 85 years. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA. Joining us today on the show is Dennis Davis. Dennis, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of streamers just play video games on their stream, but you're a little bit different.
I stream a lot of art content. What that art content is if you look at a particular streamer, they're going to have a logo, right? So you can see on mine, I have a panda, and that's the persona. Once you get the colors, you're going to have a banner. So the banner is your offline banner. It kind of gives people a little, a glimpse of what they are. It shows their social media if they want to connect to people. And then you have your panels. These are known as tier 1s. So your panels, your banner, your logo, and your panels are going to say stuff like about me, my PC specs, my Discord, my schedule, donations, that kind of stuff. So to me, it just became, what do I do for these art pieces? And that's pretty much what I'll stream. What I get a lot of audiences on is people who go, I've always wanted to do art. I'm like, well, come on in. If you sub, here's my hook. If you sub, you can come into the Discord and we'll start you in the apprentice program. And what that does is they learn how to do art by either watching me, or I help train them, or other artists that work with us. And if someone has, I lost my job, I'm having a hard time, I'm really dealing with PTSD, I'd love to stream, I like to be able to talk to people, I'll send the apprentice over to that person and we work together. And so the apprentice learns how to do more art, because the only way to do art, the only way to do video is to do more video, right? Edit, you gotta edit. You gotta do more, you gotta do more, you gotta do more. So I did it that way. And I mean, I've probably created over 60 million pieces of art just from 2010 moving forward, because I got into all kinds of clans.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you give back to the veteran community?
If veterans want to stream and they need a place to go, sometimes they just want to talk. Normally what I'll do is I'll let them into the Discord and give them the title of veteran and thank them for their service. And at that point, if I have an apprentice that needs to upgrade their artist skills, I'm going to send them to that veteran and let them pick and choose what they want for a tier 1. Tier 1 is a logo, banner, panels, and whatever else we decide to let them have. And then if they get into a community, we try to get them into other places where like-minded gamers are playing the same game. You meet great folks. And one of the things that a lot of veterans have a hard time with is coming back from wherever they went and trying to relate that to everyone on the block who has no idea what they went through, right? And so we have a camaraderie at that point to be able to talk with them. I deal with a lot of veterans in my Discord, and we just talk. Give them a place to talk, really is what it is.
What draws you to gaming?
The fantasy aspect of it. I've always been into TV, sci-fi, makeup artist, that kind of stuff. I wanted to be a sci-fi special effects guy. Do you want to be like a Call of Duty, or you want to be a Spec Ops? You can do Spec Ops. You want to do a Navy SEAL? You can be a Navy SEAL. But I will get in and play with my crew. I mean, I'm in over 150 communities in Discord. I walk around in there and I talk to a lot of people. I try to help out the streamers that are coming in, new streamers, and most of the time I'm just streaming art and having a conversation with people.
Well, it was great talking with you today. We really appreciate you joining us on the show.
Well, thanks for having me again on the show. It's pretty awesome. And I appreciate you shouting me out in DukeDavis94 Studios and Pro Esports Gaming, where everybody can be you versus the world. Thanks again for allowing me to speak on your show.
You know, Jami, through the course of the show, we've had a chance to meet and interview a whole lot of really great people who play video games and served in the military.
Definitely. And we want to hear your story as well. If you think you have a great story to tell, let us know so that we can share it.
As always, we want to thank everyone who participated in today's show, as well as all our active duty service members and veterans.
I'm Jami Kinton.
And I'm Jeremy Smith.
For all of us here at IME, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.